The QA team works alongside of the development team, and they don't get the respect that they deserve. Your QA team has the ability to automate so much of the testing that used to only be able to happen manually. And one of the underused resources that we've seen on the QA team is being able to use their integration tests as a way to automate the load testing of your application. So if you're using microservices, if you're doing Kubernetes, if you're doing GraphQL, it really doesn't matter. As long as the QA team has an automation tool that can scale out effectively, that is honestly your highest ROI in terms of being able to get the team to test your application and then have an application performance monitoring tool, make sure that you're able to then get the insights that you need. So that is always step one that we always recommend. Make sure your QA team is doing this. Step two, there are some tools that you can use inside of Visual Studio to be able to do application load testing. There's F#, there's a whole host of options. If your development team is not structured to do that as part of their stories, if they don't have tasks that regularly happen, I would kind of advise against that. It's not super beneficial and it does take their time away from higher value activities. So having your development team focus primarily on developing the application, writing unit tests, of course, but the integration tests that it takes to do the performance monitoring, that's usually an outside activity. So the third recommendation that we will usually give to our clients is to have a team that specializes in this. We worked with clients in the past where they have an entire team that is constantly testing new iterations of new APIs, using tooling like Siege or all of the other ones that are out there, depending upon what your cloud provider is, and just hammering these APIs, giving the application teams tests and the results before they ship the code into production. Now, thankfully, there are tools that are built into a lot of the Kubernetes managers that we use, be it OpenShift, be it Azure Kubernetes Manager. We can actually test what happens if one of these microservices goes down. Does your application resiliently fail on top of it? And there's even tools like Netflix came out with Chaos Monkey, if I remember right, that'll just randomly take down pieces of your application in the middle of the day to make sure that your incident response is there, and it makes sure that you're practicing for the fire drills, much like we all did in elementary school, or I did when I was in California for earthquake drills. You're constantly thinking about it, you're prepared for it when it happens. So there's no silver bullet, unfortunately, when it comes to microservice testing, but staying ahead of the game, making sure you have tooling in there to let you know how your APIs are performing, and leveraging your QA team. Those are probably the three core recommendations that I give to everyone, and it usually makes them much better, much more stable, and much faster in the long run.